Will you hand me a shirt that I can rub my glasses with? Or clean them? Like a t-shirt?
What?
And you're done in the kitchen.
I just want to have a popsicle.
Sure. Oh my God. Let me see the back of your thigh. Turn around. Please tell me it's sand. Turn around. Turn around. Oh, it's sand. Oh my God, you gave me a heart attack. All right, go start a bath. Go get some toys and get in the bath.
I don't want a bath.
You're taking a bath because you're washing your hair.
But I don't want a bath.
Then take a shower.
Okay, but I don't want to right now.
What do you think you're doing right now?
I'm just getting this off.
Onto my floor? When you could have gotten it off onto the bath?
No, Mom, I'm getting it on the bench.
I'm still in my wet swimsuit. You guys like my swimsuit? Team USA. Okay, anyway, so we're back with some study ASMR. We're studying. And yeah, let's get to it. Yes, this is working. What? Okay, so let's go straight up to the top. So we're going into like anemia and different things like that. And so it was important for us to, and also lung cancer. And so it was important for us to rebrush up on cellular regulation. So, wait, what? Hold on. Sorry, 1 second. Not only do I look good, Oh, what is this? This is doing... It's terrible. Sorry, 1 second, guys. Whatever. Okay, I'm 5'6". Okay, so cellular regulation. So the definition is processes that control cell growth, replication, and death. Pathophysiology, cell cycle, growth, G1, DNA replication, which is S, preparation for mitosis, G2, and mitosis, M. Apoptosis is programmed cell death. Differentiation is specialization of cells. So some risk factors that can throw off your cell function, which is pretty much what cancer is going to be some risk factors for that is genetic mutations, carcinogens, radiation, viruses. It's kind of crazy how much like just getting an infection can cause some gene to flip on within your cells and you end up getting like an autoimmune disorder or something crazy. What?
You know there are no...
No. You guys, my assistant put up a light in my living room and it's so cute. Do you guys want to see it? It actually looks good. This place is starting to slowly but surely come together. Hold on. Anya, watch out so I could show them. Isn't it cute? It's kind of cute,
Mom.
right?
It says mum.
It doesn't say mum.
Yes, it does. It says mum.
Do you guys like it? I love it for some reason.
It says
so
mum.
cute. Wait, turn off the light. Turn off the light. Turn off the light. She's so cute. Yes, isn't it fun? Look it, we got the lights over here. Oops. Lights over here, and then we got the lights over here. What do you guys think? Let me know. Will you turn the light back on, honey? Never mind. This is fine. So, yeah. And this is a new swimsuit. What do we think?
Fabulous.
Fabulous. Okay. Will you turn that down, hun? Actually loving that light. The longer that it's here. Turn it down, babe. Way more. We're studying. We're studying. So, yeah, anyway, signs and symptoms of disruption in your cellular regulation. Tumor formation, fatigue, pallor, abnormal bleeding. Some nursing interventions. Monitor for abnormal growths. Educate on avoiding carcinogens. Support patients undergoing treatment for cancer. Medications, chemotherapy agents, targeted therapy, immunotherapy. Okay, so that's just a brief brush over of that. Any questions that a student could attempt to answer, please comment it down below. And if you have something you want to add to the conversation, I think that's so fun, and please do it, because I know a lot of people on TikTok there's a lot of you smarty pantses out there, and I've had some really fun study groups on TikTok, and it's a lot of fun. So please share your info. I just spit. Onward we go. Moving forth. Okay. Anemia. Ooh, kitty. I didn't take my ADHD meds today, so I did everything under the sun. I literally meal prepped, made homemade ice cream, made smoothies, cleaned the house, set up a whole new part of my living room, studied, made a kahoo, made a document, translated everything into Nepali and sent it to my friend, went to the pool. I feel like I get way more done without my ADHD med because I'm just like wired with energy. But then when I take my med, it really calms me down and it slows me down and helps me focus, yes, but also it makes me kind of tired. So there's that. Excuse me, does that happen to anyone else? Okay. So, deficiencies of red blood cell or hemoglobin reduce oxygen transport. So the pathophysiology, if it's iron deficiency, we have a lack of iron, which decreases hemoglobin production, which means we're not carrying enough oxygen or absorbing enough. We have vitamin B12 deficiency, which affects red blood cell production, I thought, and absorption. So I'll have to double check on that. Hemolytic red blood cells destroyed faster than produced. So hemolytic, yeah, the red blood cells are just getting destroyed faster than they are produced in the body. Aplastic bone marrow fails to produce enough red blood cells. Risk factors: poor diet, chronic diseases, genetic conditions, bone marrow disorders. Signs and symptoms are fatigue, pallor, shortness of breath, dizziness, tachycardia. Diagnosis, we could do a CBC, iron studies, vitamin B12 and folate levels, taking labs. Nursing interventions, we could administer supplements, monitor hemoglobin levels, education on dietary changes, and manage symptoms. Medications include iron supplements, vitamin B12 injections, erythropoiesis stimulating agents, and blood transfusions in worst case scenarios. So I'm actually going to check on something because we covered a lot more of that in class, and I'm going to see if I can download. I'm going to download my teacher's slide. I'm going to download my teacher's slide into ChatGPT, and I'm going to request that ChatGPT takes everything that she emphasizes on and that she bolds and puts it into linear notes for me. So in bold, or that is okay. So I'm going to connect to my Google Drive. Don't use ChatGPT to cheat, but use it to do things like this. I think like working smarter is definitely an okay thing to be doing in 2024, and it's really suggested. So like, don't have ChatGPT write your paper, but have them write you an outline, or write your paper. This is what I like to do. This is my favorite thing. So I will write my whole entire essay, and then I'll say, correct this essay for any spelling or grammar errors. And then I'll put like the semicolon, and then I'll copy and paste my paper, and then I'll put it into ChatGPT, and it'll fix all of my spelling and grammar errors, because your girl got a lot of them. Let's see what they can do. Oh my God. This is amazing what I just did. Okay, so I connected ChatGPT to my Google account. I downloaded my teacher's slides into ChatGPT and said, please summarize these slides and write me a cohesive note summary, and pick out things that are bolded and that are more emphasized on from her slides, and write them in a cohesive note pattern, whatever. Okay. And so it's not going to stop right there. It's going to do that for you and make a nice clean cutout for you, and you can read it and go through it, which is great. But the real studying is going to happen is like what you're going to do with what it made for you. So for me, it kind of like organized it, took out all the junk, none of it's junk, but took out all the stuff that I don't need to be focusing on for right now, and made me a really clean list of like, focus on this. And now how I implement that into my studying is what's going to really matter for the test. But this does help me like get organized. Does that make sense? So this is great. This like literally goes over everything. Study notes for anemia. This is way more broken down than it was before. So it goes over what anemia is, okay, which we did, causes, blood loss, inadequate blood cell production, increased red blood cell destruction, nutritional deficiencies, and physiological disorders. You can find my Twitter if you just go to my Instagram, pretty much. I have a great Twitter, by the way, but we're not focusing on that. We're focusing on science. Anyway, so pathophysiology and etiology. So reduces oxygen carrying capacity regardless of cause. So just to be anemic, no matter what kind of anemia you have, your body's going to be lacking in oxygen, okay, in one form or another. Most common cause is going to be the iron deficiency, which is great because then we can usually fix that through diet and supplementation. Risk factors are poor nutrition, trauma, menstruation. So like young gals that have really heavy periods, they're at risk for anemia. Prevention, genetics, there's no prevention, or if it's adequate nutrition, then if it's not getting adequate nutrition, you can get adequate nutrition. So there's a preventative method. Clinical manifestations categorized by cause. So what we're going to see related to anemia is going to be something like they're going to have major blood loss. They're going to have a nutritional deficit. They can have a hemolytic autoimmune thing going on where their red blood cells are getting destroyed faster than they're being created. You could have bone marrow suppression, and bone marrow is where I think we make a lot of our blood cells, is where a lot of our blood cells are made and spit out into the rest of our body, for lack of better words. Blood loss anemia. So acute blood loss. So how our body will compensate the best it can. So we lose a bunch of blood. We're going to try to do other things to help regulate. We're going to have other systems in our bodies come into play to help regulate what's going on. Why are you on Lamborghini Genius? What? What? Anyways, so the compensatory mechanism. It'll become less effective if hemorrhage continues. So stopping the bleeding is most important. I think we all know that. Increasing risk for hypovolemic shock. So hypovolemic shock is when you lose so much fluid, your body goes into complete shock. Like hypovolemia is like low blood. And circulatory failure. So if we're going into hypovolemic shock and we go into circulatory failure, it's because our heart that works with our arteries and veins to perfuse the blood, which is our body's nutrients and our oxygen, to the rest of our body, it can no longer do that. So if we're not getting blood out to here, and we're not getting it out to our legs, first of all, you may lose your goddamn legs and you may lose your goddamn arms, which would suck. But what's most important is your body will try to protect you, and so you won't perfuse out, and your body will stay central, because this is where all of your assets are. This is where all your organs are that are keeping you alive. So your body's going to try to save your internal organs before it tries to save your limbs. And if you're going into hypovolemic shock and circulatory failure, you're at risk for organ failure as well, which means like a lot of things, but the worst imminent thing is death. So very important that doesn't happen. Some simple symptoms of what this is going to look like in a patient that's experiencing stuff like this is going to be like hypotension, so low blood pressure, tachycardia. This used to not make sense to me. It does kind of now. I'm not going to go into explaining it. Some of you probably already know, but like if your blood pressure is low because of a loss of blood volume, your heart rate can still be really, really high because your heart's trying to work overtime to replace all of the blood that your body has lost. So just because your blood pressure is low doesn't mean that your heart rate can't be going through the roof. I don't know why that was a hard concept for me back in the day, but maybe it's not for you. So people who are dealing with this acute blood loss may have hypotension, which is low blood pressure, tachycardia, high heart rate, and a decreased, it's LOC, and I always forget, but what the fuck that means. And then as soon as I hear it, like I know what it's about. It's like a loss of consciousness. Yeah, a decreased loss of consciousness. So they're cognitively declining as you're with these patients, okay? Because if you're not getting blood out to your arms and your legs and your organs, you're definitely not getting it to your freaking brain. And if you can't get blood to your brain starts dying. Thank you, King Richard. So you're gonna lose like your consciousness. Like you're gonna be freaking out there. You're gonna be hard to communicate with. You're gonna seem hella out of it. And that's because your brain is like potentially dying. And then oliguria. So you're not gonna be peeing. So why would your body be releasing pee if you don't even have any blood? So like your blood and your pee are very interconnected. Like your blood is filtered through your kidneys and any waste ends up being excreted out as your pee. And if you don't have enough blood, it's definitely not getting to your kidneys, and so you're definitely not getting fluid out to pee. So these patients aren't going to be peeing as well. Yes.
Can I have another soup?
You want another soup? Can you make us a soup? Okay, make us a soup.
Where do I turn it to?
Turn it to medium.
No.
Good job, Queen, making your own soup. Okay. Okay, red blood cells, characteristics, normal size and shape, not sure. Oh, okay, it's saying when we're dealing with a patient who is just having anemia due to acute blood loss, the red blood cells characteristics, they're going to be normal red blood cells. They're going to have a normal shape and they're going to be a normal size. It's just that we have an extremely low amount of them, whereas in other conditions, we'll see that can actually alter the shape of the red blood cells, which is also going to be a problem, because in the community of all things science, your shape is a major role in how you function. So if you're not your normal shape, you're not going to be functioning normal. I don't know if I just fucked that all up. Okay, sorry. If that didn't make sense to you, that's fine. Chronic blood loss. So acute and chronic are quite different. Acute, this is happening quick. Okay, you just got into a car accident, you're bleeding out all over the place. You're pregnant, you just hemorrhaged. It was a bad hemorrhage and you lost way more blood than you were supposed to. It was a vaginal birth and you're only supposed to lose up to 500 milliliters of blood, but you did a vaginal birth and you lost 2,500 milliliters of blood. That's acute blood loss. It happens instantly. Chronic blood loss, which you're going to think like, wow, that's going to be like a lot more blood. That's not necessarily the case here. With chronic blood loss, the issue here is that you're losing blood, but over a long period of time. Obviously, if you lost a bunch of blood over a long period of time, like you would probably just be dead. So I think it's safe to say like they're not losing like what I just gave with the pregnancy example, but let's just go into that. Like they're still losing blood and it's chronic because it's happening over a way longer period of time. Okay, so the fluid shift from interstitial space. So you have the cell, which is intracellular space. That's where most of our fluid is held within our bodies, within our cells. Then you have the interstitial space, which I think is, I could be wrong. What happened? Pause. So you push in and go get a rag and wipe this up. You can wait till you're done if you want. No, that's not how you do that. Here, wash out. You'll learn as you do this more. Take this, okay, pay attention, and I'm putting it into my hand. Because you know what happens when you flip that over and you wipe it right there? Then it flips onto the floor and it gets all over this, and then guess what? You have more mess to clean up. Whereas this way, I just go like this, rinse my hand, set that down, and I call it good. I'm done. So that's going to take a minute. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so the fluid shifts from inside your cells to the space between your cells and your vessels, I'm thinking. to prevent.
I have a secret way to open cans.
What's your secret way to open cans?
So
I'm actually going to double check this.
Them, so you use your fingers and you pull the little thing up like cat food, but only a little bit. Then you grab a spoon or a fork and you put this in and you pry it open.
You pry the flip up and then grab it by your finger and pull back.
No, that wasn't working for me.
Okay.
So I did what I did. So, did you hear me?
Yeah.
So I opened it a little bit, and I put this in, and I pried it.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
So I put it like this.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so this is what I was thinking. Okay, so interstitial space is like, here's the cells, and then here's blood vessels, and then there's the space between like the cells and the blood vessels. That's the interstitial space. So with chronic blood loss, fluid shifts from interstitial space to vessels. That makes sense. So you're kind of like diffusing, or what is it? Hydrostatic pressure, oncotic pressure. We're pulling fluid from these kind of like free space, for lack of a better word, into our vessels. Because if we're hypovolemic, we are low blood volume, and the more fluid we get into those vessels, the more we could bring that pressure back up. And it's important for us to get that pressure back up because, like we talked about, when it is too low of a blood pressure, we are not perfusing adequate blood to our surrounding limbs, organs, tissues, blah, blah, blah. So, with chronic blood loss, the interstitial space, like the fluid is shifting from the interstitial space into the vessels to prevent hypovolemia. Our body's trying to compensate. We're losing this fluid, we're losing this blood. It's been over a long period of time, and this body's trying to stay alive, okay? It does this for us without us even like thinking about it. Super cool. Okay, the symptoms of what this could look like on a patient: you could detect a heart murmur due to reduced blood viscosity. The red blood cells characteristics could be small and pale due to iron depletion. I'm actually going to pull up her slides to make sure that it's going off of her slides. Good. Yeah, so
I think the soup's ready, but how do I know for sure?
this is going directly off of her. What? It'll bubble.
It's steaming though.
Let it bubble a little bit.
It's just that I've been stirring it.
Well, stop stirring for a second and see if it bubbles. Okay, so we're jumping straight out of that and we're going into nutritional anemias. So remember that acute blood loss can cause anemia and chronic blood loss can cause anemia. Now we're going to go into iron deficiency anemia, which we were talking about as the most common. So symptoms of what this can look like in your patient or on yourself. Mind you, I'm just a nursing student. I'm not giving any medical advice in this. We're just studying together. This is studying ASMR, and if you love studying everything anatomy and physiology, you're in the right place. And right now we're doing anatomy and physiology, but it's also with nursing-based care in mind because I am a nursing student. Now that spiel's over. Okay, so the symptoms of iron deficiency anemia: brittle hair. Okay, it's kind of like protein deficiency. You're gonna see brittle, breaky hair. Okay, we're studying anemia right now. Spoon-shaped nails. So nails that are kind of dipping and then spooning up. Okay, spoon-shaped nails. Cellulose. cellulosis. What is this? Look up what it is. Ah! That's what I was going to tell my sister-in-law, that I think she has anemia. I need to message that to her. Sorry, I was trying to figure this out earlier, and now that I do have it figured out, I need to message her.
Mom,
Yep.
this is how you get me to eat my vegetable.
How?
This shoe.
Iron deficiency anemia. So maybe next time you're at the doctor, you could get some blood work done. Okay, so cellulosis, which is kind of like this. I don't have a son. I don't know why everyone thinks I have a son. I have a lot of nephews. So the cellulosis is like this drying, cracking, almost looks like kind of like bunches of cold sores, but it's not. That's cellulosis, and it's related to iron deficiency anemia. So then smooth, sore tongue. Don't really know what kind of picture to give you for that. And pica. So they're gonna have weird cravings. Maybe chewing on ice chips, maybe chewing on some drywall. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Then there's vitamin B12 deficiency anemia, pernicious anemia, which is the failure to absorb dietary B12. So symptoms, they'll look like pallor, kind of pale, jaundicey. They'll have weakness, paresthesia, which is paresthesia, which is like the numbness and tingling you kind of get on your body, like when your foot falls asleep, but all over your body. Proprioception problems, which proprioception is kind of like knowing where my body is in a, what do we live in, a 3D world? I know that sounds so dumb. Oh my god. We live in 4D, 3D, I don't fucking know. Is life 4D? Okay, it's 3D. Sorry. Maybe I'm living in 4D and that's why I'm such a weirdo, but life is 3D. Okay. So proprioception problems is like not knowing where your limbs are in a 3D sense. Like, I'm sitting right here, but I know I have a leg on my left and right side and it's touching the ground, and they come up just below the table, like I just know that without looking. I can feel it. I know. Proprioception problems means my leg could have been like up here, and if I wasn't looking at that and I was looking this way and not right to my leg, I may not know that maybe it was like up like that. That is a very dramatic way to explain that. Like, it's not going to really look like that, but I hope the dramatization of it makes sense. Like, you just don't know where your limbs are within time and space. So you'd be like, I don't know. It's a wild, interesting concept. And you'll have balance difficulties. This is related to the B12 deficiency. Okay, so folic acid deficiency anemia risk are more common among undernourished people and individuals with alcoholism. Symptoms are, pallor, progressive weakness, fatigue, shortness of breath, heart palpitations, glottis cellulosis and diarrhea. So glottitis, I need to double check what that is again. Again, the cellulosis one is that like breaking up around the mouth kind of crap. Hi, Baker Castle. Not folic acid. You guys are funny. Okay, so inflammation of the tongue. So folic acid deficiency, your tongue might be swollen and you might have like cracked sores around your mouth and diarrhea and heart palpitations, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Hemolytic anemias. These ones are a little bit scary to me. So there's thalassemia, which is an inherited disorder. And it's an anemia, splenomegaly, bronze skin, bone marrow hyperplasia. I don't know what the freak I just read, so I'm going to go to the slides. Inherited disorder of hemoglobin synthesis. When it's severe, it can deform the bones. So that's gonna be my big takeaway with that one. That's fucked up. Thalassemia. Your girlfriend's fine. We all get stomach problems. Okay. That sounds like I'm just writing that off. I don't want to do that. We all just know the like standard TikTok thing is like it's not your girlfriend if she doesn't have a tummy ache thing. If you want to come to me with more signs and symptoms, we can do some research, which would be fun. Let's keep studying. Yes. Your bone moves up and down. I can't. Okay. So acquired hemolytic anemia. So one, you inherit it and you're born with it. Is that what it's saying? That's not what it's saying. Scratch that. I feel like I know a lot of these from my health anxiety reading. Right? It's kind of fun. Okay. Causes. Hemolysis from factors outside of the red blood cells. Symptoms. Mild to moderate anemia. Splenomegaly, which is, what the hell is that? Abnormal enlargement of the spleen. Okay. Severe causes may require splenectomy and immunosuppressive therapy. Glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase anemia, which is the G6PD, which is so fun. Like, that's such a fun thing to say. This is going to be a hereditary deficit. It's triggered by stressors. This one I'm going to say, I'm not sure if I'm right about this. Let me double check. But this one might be more prone to... No, I'm not even going to say. Never mind. Let's just jump right into it since I'm not sure. Hereditary deficit. So triggered by stressors, like we were saying. Thank you, Brian, for the gift. That's so sweet. No flashcards. I rarely do flashcards. I should do flashcards more. Symptoms. Pallor, jaundice, hemoglobinuria. So I'm assuming you're peeing out some blood. Let's look that up. Excretion of free hemoglobin in the urine. So just hemoglobin? It's interesting. I'm not quite sure. Okay, elevated reticulocyte count. Reticulocyte, I don't even remember. An immature red blood cell without a nucleus. Okay. So thank you, Brian. I ice cream. I used to do that. Isn't that terrible? It was actually kind of fun. A little stressful. Okay, aplastic anemia, pathophysiology, rare condition where bone marrow fails to produce all three types of blood cells. So the bone marrow produces anything from red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets, which are your clotting factors, right? So aplastic anemia. So we're having trouble producing red, white, and platelets, okay? You might as well get put into a bubble and be bubble boy, because that seems so dangerous. Monday through Sunday, for real. Okay, pancytopenia. Get out of the kitchen. You're so done. You've had 2 bowls of soup, a full thing of strawberries. You're not hungry, you're bored. Get out of the kitchen. You're going to make yourself sick doing stuff like that. Go look in the bathroom mirror. Your tummy is hard because it's so full. Let your tummy process that food before you eat more. You're going to hurt it. What you need is water. You need to go drink some water. Please go fill this up. Go fill this up so we can share it. It's not my son. It's my beautiful daughter. I don't have a son. I have a daughter. And then I have a bunch of nephews. Well, we've already had dinner. And then we went to the pool, so you burn a lot of calories and whatnot. Makes you hungry, that's fair. So we had dinner, went to the pool, then we came back from the pool. We had rhubarb bars, so like a nice little treat. And then she had a full thing of strawberries and 2...
It wasn't full.
No one's ate those strawberries. Those are brand new. I got them today. I just ordered them.
They weren't full, though.
Yes, they were. Ate the full thing of strawberries and ate 2 cans of like...
was eating them too.
When?
When you came to the couch.
And then ate 2 full cans of like the Amy's minestrone soup. So like, you're good for now. Let it digest. You're good. You're gonna make yourself sick. Okay. Manifestations. Insidious or sudden onset, bleeding gums, bruising, fatigue, weakness, headache, tachycardia, heart failure, increased risk for infection. Some diagnostic tests you can do is a complete blood count, CBC, bone marrow biopsy, treatments like a blood transfusion, and bone marrow stimulants. Lifespan considerations for people who deal with aplastic anemia, because this is a serious kind of anemia. I had ChatGPT help me make this study guide. That's what I'm reading from right now. In theory, yes, I could take care of you. Okay.
Go.
Lifespan considerations. So in neonates, so like our babies or little babies, okay? Causes of neonatal anemia: blood loss, hemolysis, impaired red blood cell production. Physiologic anemia of a newborn: gradual drop in hemoglobin for the first 6 to 12 weeks, resolved as bone marrow begins production. So what it's saying is like in some of our neonates, they might be anemic. Yeah.
Someone asked for your friend.
That's okay. We're learning about information right now. So in some of our neonates and some of our babies, they might be anemic because when the baby's first born, a lot of their stuff isn't fully obviously it's not fully developed, but some of it's like not even there, okay? So, like, the reason why you have to be so careful with your baby for the first couple months or a couple weeks is because they have no immune system. Well, it's not that they just don't have no immune system. Their kidneys are like, I don't want to say something wrong, but, like, they're not completely developed. Like, not that they're going to be completely developed like my kidney, but, like, even like it's still forming the rest of the kidney. Even though it's out of your body, doesn't mean that that baby came well equipped with everything that it needed. I'm not making sense. Like, how could I say this better?
Yeah, you're not making very much sense. Thank you.
Like, you would think, oh, the baby was born, it's gonna have all of its bone marrow or whatever it needs to, like, be done being born. That's just not the case for all babies. So it's like, we have to be patient. We have to kind of, like, gradually assess these babies that are anemic over the next 6 to 12 weeks and wait for their bone marrow to become sufficient enough. And then hopefully the baby will no longer be anemic. And then at the same time, some babies come out and they're not anemic, and maybe their bone marrow was good to go from the moment they slid right out of you, jet skiing on their way out the womb.
Oh
well. Okay, so moving on. Infants and children, things to consider for if they're anemic. So infants and children, they may need they may be at an increased need of iron. I got dropped in, my head grew indented. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. My brother said that he dropped me on the back of my head too. And low key, like, I did a brain scan and I do have, like, a small TBI to the back of my occipital lobe, which controls your what? Your vision. And guess who wears prescription glasses?
Don't you have contacts?
I don't like wearing my contacts in the summer because they dry out. So I haven't been wearing them lately.
She just tried to lick me.
Not a coincidence at all.
She's a zombie.
Okay, so
Sometimes
between
she
4 to
says
6
she's
months and
eating.
between 1 to 6 years, your infants and children may need an increase of iron. So they do say that if you're a breastfeeding mom, that it's good for you to take an iron supplement, because not only is your body, like, not only did your body lose a lot of blood probably from giving birth, but your body's burning through a lot of nutrients and power because of giving birth and because of the breastfeeding. And so it's good for you and baby to be taking an iron supplement.
Are you trying to be famous?
Trying to get into education.
What's education?
You know what it is. Teaching. I like to teach on my platforms. Although I'm not a teacher and I'm not an expert, I'm just sharing my studies with you. But it's fun because, like, when I practice, like, trying to teach in quotation, because, like I said, I'm just a student, but when I practice, like, trying to explain the process to somebody else, not only is it fun and engaging, but it is a great way for you to remember the information that you're learning.
Yeah.
You store the information in your more long-term memory, and I will be doing that with this information because I'm studying this way, in the sense of, like, I'm teaching it to a group of people. That's going to help me memorize this information for life instead of just cramming it all into my brain, taking a test, and then it being completely gone, you know? Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you for what?
Marshall.
For being so chubby.
You're a nurse, Snow? Yes. So please chime in, Snow, because this is what makes TikTok so fun, is because there's so many brilliant people on TikTok, whether they are in a profession or they are a student, or they just, like our friend earlier said, that their anxiety causes them to, like, research this kind of stuff, and so they just know all this great information from their anxiety searches at night. all of us coming together and kind of having this discussion is so fun to me, and we could just all learn a lot from each other, and it's a lot of fun. I really like it. I find it to be extremely stimulating and engaging.
I had a friend named Snow.
Stop. You did. Iron deficiency causes is going to look like inadequate intake of iron-rich foods, excessive cow's milk intake. So yeah, it was something about if you drink a lot of milk, this can cause you to be iron deficient. And it was the way that the different like chemicals from the milk and like the iron
love milk.
I think that it's maybe something from the milk binds where iron would onto the blood and it blocks it or something. I could be completely wrong about that, but it was something like that. Actually, let's just look it up.
Goodbye. Just kidding, I'm not leaving you. Chubby.
Okay, why does this happen?
Put a 5 if you like me.
So milk and other dairy products can interfere with the gut's ability to absorb iron from other sources, to put it simply, I guess. They put a 5, Nana. Yay! Ugh.
Just let me take it to a better place.
Parental education that we should be teaching some of our parents that we come across in the clinic is to limit cow's milk, which who else had a baby? And then they said as soon as that baby turns 1 to start giving them milk all the time. So like I thought that was really interesting. Not saying to not do that, but maybe like after that 1 year of them being on milk with other foods, stop supplementing so much with milk and start obviously giving them other whole foods and stuff. Provide a well-balanced diet with iron-rich foods. The importance of correcting iron deficiency anemia to prevent deficits in mental and motor development. So if you have a kid that's anemic, you need to correct, and if it's iron deficiency, which can be quick to like fix through diet for the most part, get on that and get on that quickly, because if you don't, this deficit can cause mental and motor deficits in your child's development. So it's just really important that if your doctor talks to you about needing to implement these things, that you jump on it and put it into action quickly. It's really important for your kid's development. So adolescents, so like, yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point too.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
She's gone now.
Are you sure about that?
Okay, we'll see you soon, Marshall. You're awesome. Thank you for being so active in the chat. Okay, so for our teenagers, our adolescents, high iron requirements. So their body needs high iron requirements due to their growth and muscle development. Go figure. So risk factors are, we kind of talked about it, adolescents, girls, due to their heavy menstrual bleeding. If they're underweight, malnourished, or even obese adolescents can be at risk for iron deficiency. Pregnancy, the risk for anemia is the increase in overall plasma dilutes the red blood cells. So the fact that you just have so much more fluid going through your body when you're pregnant. Oh, I have that iron deficiency. If you have that, Kaden, I encourage you to just jump on the internet and just like look up some iron rich foods and pick out your favorites and just start implementing those into your diet every day, just from friend to friend, personal advice, not medical advice, because I am a student. But you should love yourself. You gotta be getting that. Don't be deficient if you don't have to be, I take iron supplements every day with juice as well. Okay. Well, I like that for you, but also, well, you didn't ask, so I don't need to shove shit down your throat. Okay. So, pregnancy, risk for anemia. Because of the increase in the overall plasma, it dilutes our red blood cells. The most common type is iron deficiency anemia. So, its effects is that it increases the risk for sepsis, maternal and perinatal mortality, probably obviously in severe cases, okay, or in a low birth weight. And if your baby's at a low birth weight, they're technically at risk for a whole slew of issues and problems. Anya was a baby that was at risk for being a low birth weight, and they were worried about her. She came out, she had a little bit of jaundice in her. They fixed it.
A little bit of what?
A little bit of jaundice.
What does that mean?
It means that you had let me see how to put that. You had more bilirubin that wasn't being dissolved. It was building up.
What? What did you say?
Let me think of how I can explain that to you.
I had more belly. What?
Okay, so your liver normally breaks down your red blood cells.
Liver?
Yes, your liver.
Breaks down
Red blood cells when it's time to break them down.
Okay.
Okay? When you have jaundice, those red blood cells are building up in your body when some of them, because your body's kind of making new ones all the time, you want to get rid of them sometimes. So when you can't get rid of them and you're building up and they're kind of like expired blood cells, so to say, like creates jaundice. But usually with babies, it depending on the case, it's case by case. Your case wasn't severe. You had very little, barely any jaundice. They put you underneath a special light and cleared you, and it got rid of the red blood cells and you cleared you right up.
POV me when I was a baby under the light.
My eyes.
Mom, I need to whisper something in your ear.
Feels good. Okay. Older adults. So back to Marshall, what he's saying about older adults. They're more common causes in older adults is iron deficiency, chronic disease or inflammation, and chronic kidney diseases. So it could be a significant sign of some other things going wrong physiologically, so we might want to check that out for our older adults. Normal aging older adults' bodies cannot adapt as well to disruptions in their system.
No Chick-fil-A sauce? No Chick-fil-A sauce?
Where did you see that video?
No Chick-fil-A sauce?
Where did you see that video?
No Chick-fil-A sauce?
I can't do it. Older adults' bodies cannot adapt as well. Symptoms display more easily, I guess, in this case. A lot of the times with our older adults, symptoms display less easily and they're harder to catch, but
No Chick-fil-A sauce?
my daughter's doing fun things. Physical examination, general appearance, vital signs, skin color, mucous membranes, heart and lung sounds, peripheral pulses, capillary refill, abdominal tenderness, bleeding or bruising.
Oh, wow. Mommy, say the thing.
No Chick-fil-A sauce? Is that what you wanted me to say?
No. I'll whisper it.
I'm Squidward and I'm fancy. We're ridiculous. Okay.
Hello, I am Donald Duck and I like to eat her glasses and hair. And I
Will you
do
play with my
this
hair?
sometimes.
Will you play with my hair?
And I like to chat like this, but the truth
My phone's about to die.
But the truth is, I really sound like this.
Okay.
Do you like
Planning,
it?
patient goals, implementation, evaluation, NCLEX practice questions. Let's just jump into some practice questions. Who is here in the audience that's ready to have some fun and do some practice questions? Could you
Me. Kind of.
maybe drop a period or something into the comment section?
Hurry on.
Give us a period in the comment section if you're ready to do some NCLEX practice questions. Let's do some questions together.
And
It'll be
25
fun.
if you like Donald Duck. Me, Donald Duck.
Let's get a
Do
period.
you like me? 5.
Anyone want to do
No.
practice questions? You know you do. Okay, you don't. Well, I want to do them anyway, so we're doing them. Hold on. Okay, I will answer the practice questions then. It's okay. If you guys want to chime in, feel free to. Anya, let's ask the question.
Okay.
The nurse would instruct the client to eat which of the following foods to obtain the best supply of vitamin B12. Okay, is it option whole grains, green leafy vegetables,
Goodbye.
meat and dairy products, broccoli and Brussels sprouts? Which one of these are going to give us some good B12? Whisper Soft, thank you. Thank you for the gummy bear. Okay, if you picked meats and dairy products, you would be correct. Okay. The nurse understands that the client with pernicious anemia will have which of the following distinguishing laboratory findings? Which we decide was the B12, right? That's what it said in the slides. Hold on. I don't know why they got to switch back and forth between what it's called. It's the B12 one. Those little stinkers. Okay. The nurse understands that the client with the B12 absorbentary pernicious pernicious anemia will have which of the following distinguishing laboratory findings? Will it be Schilling's test elevated, intrinsic factor absent, sedimentation rate of 16 mm per hour, red blood cells at 5.0 million? If you picked B, intrinsic factor absent, that is absolutely correct. Yay! Gosh. Okay. So did I tell you guys about where I got my Olympics swimsuit? Because this thing is so cute. This actually can go up here on my shoulders, but because I study so much, my shoulders hurt all the time. So I don't like to wear it on my shoulders because it hurts. But I love this swimsuit. I need to get out of it though. Thank you. That's really kind of you to say, Rohan. Okay, the nurse devises a teaching plan for the patient with aplastic anemia. This is the one that we were saying if Marshall comes back, this is the one him and I were both like, damn, that would be a rough Monday through freaking Sunday. to have this because it decreases your red blood cells, white blood cells, and your platelets, okay? Which of the following is the most important concept to teach for health maintenance? Eat animal proteins and dark leafy greens each day. Avoid exposure to others with acute infection. Practice yoga and meditation to decrease stress and anxiety. Get 8 hours of sleep at night and take naps during the day. So which one of these would be best? Remember, our body isn't making white blood cells. What do our white blood cells do? They're our body's immune system. It's how we fight off infection. So if we can't have a well-functioning immune system, we definitely want to avoid exposures to getting an infection, because if we can't fight off the infection, we're going to get sick, and that's going to lead to some serious issues. So the answer is B, avoid exposure to other acute infections. What? Okay, moving on. There's only 2 questions left, and then I'm getting off of here for the rest of the night. So thank you guys for hanging out with me and going over anemia. It was so much fun. Next time we're going to go over lung cancer. That's going to be fun. Sucks that this stuff exists and people get sick, but it's fun to learn about our bodies, and it's fun to take this knowledge and know that this stuff is out here and see what we can do to help. Isn't that great? Isn't that fabulous? Knowledge is power. Okay. If your girl likes girls, I think she might love it. You should check out my online site. I do a lot of girl collabs with my friend Elaine, and I absolutely adore her. Girls are some of my favorite to work with. Like, very particular. I mean, I only work with 2 people, but working with her has been a lot of fun. I really enjoy women, especially if I love them like I love Elaine. I literally adore her. She's amazing. So yes, maybe your girlfriend will like it. Maybe she'll like me. I'll get her in. Okay. Sounds good to me. Okay. A client with iron deficiency anemia is scheduled for discharge. Which instructions about prescribed ferrous gluconate therapy should the nurse include in the teaching plan? I don't know what the frick that is. Glad I'm back. I was just talking about you. You missed our last question that was about our aplastic anemia. What is it? Aplastic anemia. The one you were like, that sounds like it would be a rough Monday through Sunday. You just missed it, but we were just talking about you. Okay. So which instructions about prescribed ferrous gluconate therapy should the nurse include in the teaching? I've never heard of ferrous gluconate. I'm going to check the slides really quick. So let's see. I don't know what it's talking about, but it's got to be here somewhere. So, take this medication with an antacid. Take this medication with a glass of milk. Take this medication with cereal. Take the medication on an empty stomach, and that's the right answer. Which statement by the mother of a toddler who... Which statement by the mother of a toddler would lead the nurse to suspect that the child has iron deficiency anemia? Select all that apply. He drank over 3 cups of milk per day. I can't keep enough apple juice in the house. He must drink over 10 ounces per day. He refuses to eat more than 2 different kinds of vegetables. He doesn't like meat, but he will eat small amounts of it. I thought I had this question. Uh-oh. So the correct answer, A for sure, yeah. Yes. Marshall, you're amazing. And it's also going to be B. I can't keep enough apple juice in the house. He must drink over 10 ounces per day. So the rationale for B is the body absorbs iron better when the child consumes it with a source of vitamin C. To enable the body to absorb more iron, serve iron-rich foods alongside with foods rich in vitamin C. So to help your body absorb iron, take it with some vitamin C. I have vitamin C chewies. I keep a lot of oranges in the house. A lot of fruits contain vitamin C, and it helps your body absorb that iron and puts it to use and helps you with your iron deficiency anemia. So this was a lot of fun, you guys. ChatGPT helped me get my PT license. That is beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, like, use this technology to help, like, speed things up for you. Like, for me, it helped me to get organized, and then I'm gonna take this information. I did this with it, which is going to help me to study. And then I'm also going to end up creating some sort of a chart, laying it out system by system, which somebody else was teaching me in class. That seems like that's going to be really useful. Kind of charting it out in a notebook like that. And that's going to help me a lot too. So work smarter, not harder. But at the same time, like, getting a PT license, getting a nursing license, I mean, learning anything that requires you to learn a lot of new information. That's any job. Getting your mechanic license, I don't know. Regardless, it's going to be a lot of hard work. Stay disciplined, stay healthy, drink water, eat whole foods, have a colorful diet, try to get adequate sleep, and don't give up. And get out there and get whatever you want. It's not going to be easy. And if the bigger the dream, the bigger the mountain, okay? But you can climb it. So let's go. We'll be back next time with lung cancer. So I will see you guys tomorrow, probably. Bye. Thanks for hanging out, you guys. I really appreciate it. Helps me a lot. And Marshall, you made it so fun. Thank you for being so interactive, and I'll see you later. Bye.